Afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us for 13 News at 4. I'm Felicia Lawrence.
I'm Justin Grove. On this Giving Tuesday, we're going to get to all the goodwill and giving out there over the next hour, but we do want to start at 4 o'clock at the Statehouse. Happening right now, all eyes on lawmakers as they get an earful from the public on redistricting.
So lawmakers are weighing whether to redraw the congressional maps to try and pick up a few Republican seats in Congress next year. 13 News Statehouse reporter Emily Longnecker is here to explain what the people are saying. Emily.
Well, Felicia and Dustin, a few dozen people testified over 3 hours today on redistricting. Some were everyday Hoosiers, some folks were connected to voting rights groups, others were lawmakers. Even former Republican Lieutenant Governor Sue Ellspermann testified today. She told the committee that Hoosiers do not want redistricting, and she said the maps that they have right now are fair. In the end, more people testified to the committee that they were against redistricting than were for it. The morning started out with the bill's author, Republican State Representative Ben Smaltz, explaining the bill to the House's Election and Apportionment Committee. Then several of Smaltz's Democratic colleagues on the committee questioned him about the bill and the proposed map. They voiced several concerns with their questions, among them the timeline for considering redistricting. Democrats said the process was too rushed. They argued that before the current map was created, Hoosiers had the chance to testify at 9 different public hearings across the state over several months. Democrats also questioned how the proposed map divides Marion County among 4 different congressional districts, asking Smaltz if he'd considered how this would impact the voting power of black Hoosiers. Democratic State Representative Robin Shackelford testified about what she believed the impact would be.
These maps crack apart historic black neighborhoods, weakening our voting power and silencing the voices of the very people who are already fighting the hardest for economic stability, safer streets, better schools, and access to affordable health care.
Smaltz said the new map was drawn after lawmakers studied data from the last 3 presidential elections and consulted with a national redistricting group in Washington, D.C. He said the goal of the new map had one consideration in mind, giving Republicans a political advantage. Smaltz said he spoke with the president and vice president about redistricting and said he did not feel pressured to support the effort, but came to support it on his own. He was asked about some of the president's recent social media posts calling out lawmakers who didn't support redistricting and the threats some faced afterwards. Smaltz characterized some of the current environment as political pressure, saying he's also faced threats as the bill's author.
With yesterday, because I support this, I was threatened to have my family killed in front of me, whereafter I would be killed. That isn't going to change my mind. It's political pressure. And it's part of what we've run for these. We know that is going to happen.
Now, after the testimony over 3 hours, Democrats offered several amendments to this bill. All of them were defeated. The redistricting bill ultimately passed out of the committee this afternoon by a vote of 8-5. It was along party lines. It now has to sit for 48 hours before it can head to the full House on something called second read. And that's when all of the lawmakers in the House will be able to offer changes, amendments, if they want to. House Speaker Todd Houston has said he would like to have a vote on this bill by everyone in the House on Friday afternoon. So that is his goal. Now, coming up tonight at 5, we're going to hear from Congressman Andre Carson, who represents the 7th District, on how he thinks this bill would impact the folks he serves. Felicia, Dustin?
All right, Emily Longnecker reporting live from the State House. Thank you so much.
Okay, so when you look at the newly proposed congressional map, you see it basically splits up the Democratic stronghold of Marion County into 4 separate districts. Each of those districts would include more Republican territory in other counties. So where within Indianapolis would those lines be drawn? How would neighborhoods be affected? Our Jenna Webster is breaking those boundaries down. She's going to have that part of the story coming up for you at 5 and 6.